Yeah, so Pugger, proof of a trillion GP Omega Egg smuggle. Let's go.
Update to an unimportant item on August 11th of 2016. The only comment about this minor update in a news post full of updates was that the value of Barbarian Assault Eggs had been adjusted. They will now appear at the top of stacks of items. What wasn't minor was the value of that adjustment. The item's ALC value was increased from 1 to 100 million GP. The item I'm talking about is the Omega Egg. What is an Omega Egg? Quick refresher, I'm sure a lot of you haven't played Barbarian Assault recently. During the boss fight, your team and you make an Omega Egg to fire-
Sorry, I need to rewatch that. Did they say that they increased the item's value from 1 to 100 mil? So that it spawns... Oh, okay, so I can already see where this is going. The value of Barbarian Assault Eggs have been adjusted, so this is so that they appear on the top of stacks of items. So when people drop things, or if the monster dies on the logs or the hammer spawn inside, or if you're dropping food as the defender, the egg is the priority on pickup. That's why they've done that. So they've made it. The audio is good. Okay, thank you. So that's why they've made it.
They will now appear at the top of stacks of items. What wasn't minor was the value of that adjustment. The item's ALC value was increased from 1 to 100 million GP. The item I'm talking about is the Omega Egg. What is an Omega Egg? Quick refresher, I'm sure a lot of you haven't played Barbarian Assault recently. During the boss fight, your team and you make an Omega Egg to fire at the Queen to beat the minigame. Theoretically, if you wanted to, you could fill up your entire inventory with Omega Eggs. That's important for later. Obviously, if you leave the minigame, the Omega Egg disappears from your inventory. Now, in another very large batch of updates on January 6th of 2021, the Omega Egg's value was changed from 100 million GP to 100 GP. There was no mention of this change in the news post. The RuneScape wiki team...
I wonder why they suddenly decreased it by 100 mil. Absolutely fucking nothing sus about that, boys. Any takers? I didn't know how big Condor was live. Excuse me? Oh, you didn't know I was live? Yeah, I'm always live, dude. In the Discord. Come on. Get your shit together.
Searches through the code to find the changes and publishes them on the website. This is all public information.
Yes,
this video is about my efforts to determine why the value of the Omega Egg was decreased to 100 GP. But first,
look at that. Before you get to the sponsors, mate, that's also a 5-year gap. Between August 20... So 4-year gap, okay? 4 years and 4 months. Now, I don't know a whole lot about bug abusing and that side of the community. I know a few things, like I know how to get dupe pets, and I know how to get like the, you know, the Soul Wars color underneath people, the blue color that people have. I know how to do all that shit. That's easy and harmless fun. I don't know how to smuggle things and do all the stuff that Randy does. You know how he like instance tick, whatever it's fucking called. I don't know what it's called. I can't remember, but how he's able to get no prayer XP inside Mauritania. I wouldn't have a clue how to do this sort of stuff, but that's 4 years plus. They'd never figured out how to patch it. I don't think they knew it was happening. The bug community is incredibly tight. It is not an easy community to get into. It's a lot like being part of like the hacker community in somewhere like Escape from Tarkov, for example. Like if you want to be actually using hacks and being inside there, you've got to be like, they do some serious background checks and you make sure you're not like just some sort of idiot that's going to go around and spreading information and leaking all their stuff. Like, you won't know this stuff unless you know someone who knows this stuff, 100%. So for this to go on for 4 years is kind of insane. And if they do it smart, interface stacking, that's it, yeah. If they do it smart, they wouldn't just spam this. So, I mean, I don't know how it's going to go, but here's an example. If I knew how to do this from August 11th, 2016, for example, or if I saw this, and say from August 11th, I started doing it, right? I wouldn't do a full inventory of eggs every run, and I wouldn't do it like every hour, like you could, because it would just get patched and you'll get found out and you'll get banned. But if you did one inventory a day, one inventory a week, maybe a week, one full inventory of eggs a week, or even just a month, because what's that? If you do 20, that's 270, that's 2.7 bill. If you did it once a month, you're good, right? And you just slowly trickle it out, real trade it, spread it across different accounts. You could do this for a long time before someone else finds out about it. It just takes one person to tell someone else. Yeah, 100%. Condor, you are for sure a leader of an underground osrs Aussie gang. I'm gonna have to cut that out of the video.
Message from the sponsor of this video. Mech Arena is a great
Mech
game for
Arena.
people who like competitive shooters but don't have all day to play. I can play 3 matches in about 10 minutes. The maps are really well designed for short, intense gameplay with lots of enemy encounters. Basically, it's a super fun but low commitment mobile shooter game. My personal favorite part about Mech Arena is the
Fuck, he's cute. He is cute. Skip that shit. Nah, I'm gonna play for the fucking sponsor. I want to know what Mech Arena is all about, okay? So Pugger worked hard on this fucking sponsor. Show some respect. You're gonna tell me to skip this? Isn't he just a cutie? You wanna skip this? You skip these nuts.
detailed stats you get at the end of each game.
Oh, he's an iPhone user.
I killed all 5 of the opponents. Now there are lots of mechs and weapons to unlock as well as achievements to complete. You can unlock mechs and weapons just by playing and earning XP, and you can also improve the damage of your weapons and unlock special abilities or passive effects. You can also upgrade your mechs for more health, firepower, and other special bonuses.
Well, it's better than Raid Shadow Legends.
Some pretty epic in-game events and a great login rewards program which you definitely don't want to miss out on. It's completely free to play on Android and iOS right now. You can use my link in the description or scan my QR code to get 1 black carbon skin, 300 A coins, and 50,000 credits to help kickstart your game. Thanks to Mech Arena for sponsoring this video. If you were wondering, a lot of this footage was actually of me playing. I think I'm pretty good. My player ID is on screen. Add me in game and let's play together. So, I don't troll the wiki for unannounced updates hidden in code. In fact, this story was basically handed to me. One of the 3 people who found and abused this exploit admitted it to someone else in the bug abuse community who then told me. Obviously, these are just screenshots of a conversation. That's not proof. So what I'm gonna do is match up evidence I have with what the bug abuser is.
What does it say? Omega Egg, okay. Was this in your money methods? Don't mention it, but yes, I shouldn't have gloated. It was like 5 AM and I don't know why I even told you. It converted to 12.5 mil in Wildy. 12.5 mil in the Wildy. Okay, interesting. So I shouldn't have gloated it. It was like 5 AM. I don't know why I even told you. So I'm assuming he's regretting telling Sir Puggo about this already. But this is exactly the problem or the things that bug communities are afraid of, right? That's why you can't just be like, go on Reddit and like, oh, how do I do this bug? Like, if I made a video on how to do dupe pets, for example, I would do it. People will get pissed off at me because, like, that's their thing. Even though it's a harmless bug that a shitload of people know now, but it's just an example. If back in the day when people first figured it out and someone went and exposed it, it's a big problem, and you'll probably be, I don't know if they've got some, I don't know if you'd be blacklisted or anything, but you have to kind of build a reputation in these communities. So doing something like this and telling Sir Pugger about this bug, if people found out who this guy is, then it's kind of GG for him. He's never going to know about any other bugs like this again.
This is April 11th, 2021. The informant asks, was this your money-making method? And the bug abuser said yes. Omega Eggs converted to 12.5 million GP in the wilderness. That's important to the story. Although the Omega Eggs had a value of 100 million GP, they're not actually alchemizable. So the only way to convert them to GP was to die with them in the wilderness for 12.5 million GP each. That means a full inventory of Omega Eggs was 350 million GP. For untradeable items to convert to gold, you need to be above level 20 wilderness. The process is more complicated than that even, and I'm not really sure why Omega Eggs would convert to gold in the wilderness. More on that later. But this brings me to a clip I was sent December 10th of 2020. Accounts using burning amulets to teleport to the lava maze, and instantly in the tick that they appear, they have stacked damage and die. The person who tipped me off to this said, I think there's some sort of dupe happening, and I thought it was strange enough to report to the anti-cheating team. The team agreed that it was super weird, and the next day,
hey, so after an investigation, it seems they were stacking damage via a stall and then teleporting to the wilderness, ending the stall to die so the loot wouldn't go to a PK. It should be sorted soon. There wasn't any duped items in this case, and those involved have been banned for real-world trading. Yeah, understand. Any sort of duping is pretty much linked with real-world trading straight away. Like, I don't know why you wouldn't. If you were going to dupe something, how are you going to dupe gold and then not sell it? Why would you keep it on the account? Because it's 1, evidence, and 2, you'll get to the point when you have more gold than what you need. So, bug abuse, rebel trade. Yeah.
The anti-cheating team said after an investigation, it seems they were stacking damage via a stall and teleporting to the wilderness, ending the stall to die so the loot wouldn't go to a PKer. There wasn't any duped items in this case, and those involved have been banned for real-world trading. Now, I asked a lot of follow-up questions like how do you real-world trade by committing suicide in the wilderness? The items don't go to a PKer, aka any other player. So if they're not real-world trading by committing suicide in the wilderness, and they're real-world trading after, what are they doing in the wilderness? Now, I have absolutely no idea if all the accounts that were suiciding in the wilderness like that had anything to do with Omega Egg smuggling.
Yeah, this
but
is
it
one
does
clip, by
fit
the way,
timeline, and given the cryptic
bones of
response
those
I got from
people, yeah.
Jagex, it makes sense that the accounts would be banned for real-world trading because they were probably selling the gold that they were generating, but technically they also weren't duping any items. That was a long tangent, but let's go back to the bug abuser and informant's conversation. The bug abuser
Okay,
said...
sorry, my mistake from earlier. That the previous Discord screenshot was the bug abuser and the informant. It wasn't between him and Sir Pugger. So he was telling the informant, who I'm assuming then told Sir Pugger. So he snitched, well, didn't snitch, sorry, he leaked information to someone anyway who was going to leak it. He told someone outside the bug abuse community, which then resulted in this video. This is how you can farm normal bones. Interesting, that's why they're so cheap. It's got nothing to do with fucking normal bones being cheap. You have to find someone willing to take that much volume, which isn't likely. Yeah, well, it'll just lower the price of gold on the black market as well. Like, you can get 350 mil for 120 USD. 5 years ago, it was probably more like 240 USD. Like, it used to be $1 Australian for 1 mil back, yeah, five, maybe 8 years ago. It used to be $1 a mil. Now it's much cheaper. Everyone's duping gold. They've got so much gold they don't have, and they've got more gold than they're fucking selling, dude. 100%.
Every bug abuser knew about it, but it was just a race to see who could figure out how to smuggle it out first. Importantly though, he said there's so many stories with it was a crazy 10 months. And later on, he claims he made GP in the trillions.
Yep,
the informant asked specifically when did it become possible, and the bug abuser said we started Valentine's Day, quote, our farm, which is the first indication they were using bots. The bug abuser said it was patched on Capitol Riot Day. So the timeline is February 2020 to January 6, 2021. Once again, I looked for evidence that confirmed this. Obviously, January 6, 2021 is when the Omega Egg's value changed, but the claim that this went on for almost 11 months is incredibly important, because the duration of this bug abuse is what determines how much gold the bug abusers got away with. I was asking all around the bug abuse community if anyone had seen anything fishy about Barbarian Assault and the Omega Egg in the previous year and a half. And it reminded a couple people in the community of something they saw a very long time ago. This is a screenshot that was taken by other people in the bug abuse community who found bots.
So I've got a question. I don't know if someone in the chat can answer me, or the comments once this video makes it off stream. Why would the bug abuse community talk to Sir Pugger? Is the purpose of the bug abuse community to find bugs and get them patched? Because if he goes, have you seen any weird Omega Egg bugs? Obviously he's going to make a fucking video on it. They don't know it's him. I guess that's actually true. But still, why would they... Yeah, he wouldn't be using his name, would he? But at the same time, why would they tell someone if they're asking... Like, if I just join... I guess it depends how you go about entering the bug abuse community, hey, because... He sent in an informant. Yeah, okay. But if I joined a bug abuse community and was just like, hey guys, you know, have you seen anything about this bug? And people start telling me, they're like, who the fuck is this guy? Unless there's something credible that gets me into the community. I guess he's got an informant then, yeah. I guess snitch the market to increase / keep the GP's value. There'll be botters too. You just have, yeah, I think informant's probably the way it goes, hey. King Condor, you tricky fuck. You made me subscribe to you just to say fuck you for the job you have. I'm trading physical health for shekels here. Meanwhile, dickheads like you get paid to game. Okay, well, yeah. I guess if you're going to come and present yourself like that in someone's stream, it's a good thing you don't get paid to game. Who the fuck would want to conversate with someone like that? But thank you. Cheers, thanks for subscribing. Don't unsubscribe. Appreciate it. Get back to work.
with the Barbarian Assault rings around them outside of Barbarian Assault, specifically at the Inferno. And here's another gift these guys dug up for me of one of the bots doing something weird in the Barbarian Assault lobby. They also sent me screenshots of their conversations. They wanted to remain anonymous, but as you can see, they said there was a guy with a BA healer icon outside the Inferno, and that's April 18th. 2020. And again, the same guys, October 18th of 2020, say, I keep seeing people coming out of the Inferno in World 65. Sometimes they have the Barbarian Assault thing around them. Way back in October, they were still talking about how they were breaking some of these Barbarian Assault bots. One weird thing though, the green circle indicates the player was a healer in Barbarian Assault, and they're not the ones that end up with the Omega Egg in the boss fight. The Collector does. And they have a yellow circle around them. And when these guys told me they'd seen bots at Barbarian Assault, it rang a bell in my head. I went back through my tip-off email address, and on Thursday, April 16th, only 2 days before these guys were talking about it, someone sent me a tip-off about Barbarian Assault bots. They said most of them are in Dragon Meds and Plate Legs, but when they reach Wave 10, they just leave the room and go into the quick matchmaking arena right next to it. This person said they also saw 5 different teams of bots. So we're not talking about just one group of 5 bots. Back to the conversation with the informant and bug abuser. The informant asked how they unloaded a ton of RSGP to gold sellers without them realizing a bug was being abused. If gold sellers know that, they wouldn't usually buy it because oftentimes that gold gets traced pretty quickly and all accounts associated with it are banned.
Okay, that makes sense then too. If you were in the bug abuse community, you'd probably be gold selling and you'd probably be looking out for people who are duping mad fucking gold because you'd just be losing money and customers, right? That'd make a lot more sense answering my question from earlier, I'd say for sure. It makes sense. Is Condor's mic low or just me? My mic is low this time around, yeah, because I'm trying to find a balance with the video volume and my mic volume, because all I get is people in the comment section just screeching at me like a bunch of Neanderthal, just like, your volume's not correct and now you should just take it down and re-equalize it then upload it. And I ain't got time for that. It's a one-take gig here. I ain't got time for that shit, so yeah, I've lowered my mic, I've upped the volume, and we'll see how we go. If you guys can hear it fine, then the video should be fine too.
Bug abuser says because they're profiting off of us and it would be dumb to cut the cord on the biggest supplier. What I would argue is this bug abuse wasn't some huge event that was automatically noticed by the whole community, like when people crash worlds to dupe gold. And not only is the flow of gold spread out over 11 months, it's being generated relatively discreetly. The bug abuser also said when they started it was about 70 cents to sell the gold to suppliers, and when they ended it was about 35 cents to sell the gold. Using the Wayback Machine, I visited a few gold selling websites. I checked the price they were listing gold for in February 2020 and January of 2021. Taking into account that the buying price off of the site is usually about 15 cents higher than the selling price to the site, the numbers were almost exactly perfect. Even the bug abuser acknowledged though that the pandemic and a lot of other factors are in play. So this bug abuse definitely didn't single-handedly crash the price of gold. Could it have been a huge factor? Yeah, I think so. Not only that, but in one of my
well, that was in like a year, right?
The price of gold. Could it have been a huge factor? Yeah, I think so.
So that's in about 11 months. It's dropped 36 cents for the mil. I have a friend who used to do a lot of this real world trading crap, did a lot of dual arena gambling. That's an incredibly fast drop. It was like 0.86, 86 cents to the mil. That was strong. That was back when the gold was strong. To lose 36 cents in 11 months when it was holding around 86 cents to $1, if it was gone American, $1.20, $1.30 over 8 years, so then drop to 50 cents it's pretty big drop. I wouldn't blame it fully on the pandemic, but this is the sort of thing that bug abusers, I guess, want to try to avoid, losing that much money, because that's just you have to work for almost twice as much gold, which means the more real world trading you do, the more likely you are to get caught. And then, of course, duped gold also gets tracked, so... Jeez, there's a whole fucking ecosystem to this, eh? Or an economy, or whatever you call it. It's like trying to rob a bank in real life.
so. Not only that, but in one of my recent videos, I interviewed someone who works for 5 of the larger gold selling websites. The conversation actually moved to who they buy gold from and what they look out for. And the topic turned to bug abuse. Like I said before, this person was saying that they don't buy duped gold because their accounts would probably be banned with the gold on it and they'd lose a lot of money. I asked if this person had been offered sketchy bulk gold, aka gold from a dupe or bug abuse, without mentioning the Omega Egg or any of my suspicions to this person. They said after Soul Wars came out, a few 100 billion GP offers, and he said around the beginning of January the 9th or 10th. That pretty much perfectly aligns with our working timeline. The Omega Egg's value was decreased on January 6th, and these bug abusers could definitely have been trying to dump all of the leftover gold, thinking Jagex might finally be onto them. Now, I was wondering why bots with the Barbarian Assault icon under them would be found near the Inferno. And it turns out multiple bug abusers told me there was a forced teleport at the Inferno.
Okay, so I'm gonna read this and try to figure out what the hell this is. This must be the Fuck. Okay, so bugs and mechanics used. Inferno interface FT. I don't know what FT means. Dying on entry to the Inferno, queued a forced teleport to the Inferno, to the entrance of the Inferno. Unregistered leave, behind an interface. As long as you remained interfaced, then this forced teleport to the entrance of the Inferno wouldn't trigger. Exiting an interface would trigger it. And an interface just means like having a chat box or something, or like a spellbook swap animation, like animation stalling basically, right? Or was it contact NPC? Interface walking, being able to move in game while maintaining an interface prevents queue from running equals prevents action from running, like the FT executing. Yep, okay, cool. Canada 162, I don't know what the fuck that means, dude. Interface interact. Being able to interact with the game while maintaining an interface. Bug abuse theory crafters never expected this to be possible. Engine changes made it possible. Extremely powerful bug with almost infinite potential. That's what we saw Rendy doing with like the scrying orb and stuff, right? To be able to move around in Mauritania. Anything we've clicked to continue. Okay, cool. Stackable interfaces. Getting an interface ready to appear after doing an action. Very few portable stackable interfaces, but most commonly used is the reset keybinds button that Rendy has shown in recent videos. Yep. Rock Cake and Divine Potion to suicide. Okay. I guess if you stack them on the same tick, you'd die. Normally can't suicide with one of these items, but since Divine Potion damage isn't queued and going through timers, combining it with the Rock Cake or Locator Orb or an enchanted symbol from Mech Arena 2 or something similar will kill you since the two damages happen in the same tick. Yep, that would make sense. But you can't store the Divine Potion. Converting untradeable / unalchable items to coins by dying in the Wieldy 30+. So creating GP from smuggling Omega Eggs. Die on entry to the Inferno to get a forced teleport queued up behind an interface. Teleport to Barb Assault while remaining interfaced. Any stackable interface like the keybinds button is fine. The bots are wearing the game's neck to have the teleport option one click and just use something like keybinds buttons to stay interface. This is so, like, we're on step 2 and I'm already like, this is way too much effort to try to dupe gold. This is a lot of effort. Interface walk into the ladder. Interface interact to go down the ladder while remaining interfaced. Interface walk to the barrier. Interface interact to enter the barrier. Spam elemental shield stall in lobby to prevent the Inferno FT from executing when the round starts. Once round starts, reopen any interface like a skills menu or clan setup. Interface walk and interface interact to do actions while inside the wave. You got to do this while doing all the waves until you reach the queen. So you got to keep interface stalling and interface interacting until you reach the queen. Stack each account. Well, why don't you just get? Why wouldn't you just get a team of people, and get to the queen wave, then leave, go do this, then come back and just because you can just re-enter the queen. Why would you do all 10 waves? Why wouldn't you just do that? Is that what they're doing? Repeat until you reach queen. Yeah. Why don't you just get to queen then go do it? You'd probably save a lot of time and fucking misclicks. Right? Because it would just take one mistake for you to lose that instance, that interface. Stack each account that has the Inferno FT queued behind an interface with Omega Eggs. Exit the interface on each account to get teleported to the entrance of the Inferno with a full inventory of Omega Eggs. while remaining interface to get hit points down to below 20 with a rock cake or something similar, 15 in this case, so that the locator orb and divine potion, 10 damage each, will kill you. Teleport to lava mage with burning amulet and locator orb, divine potion to suicide on the same tick that you arrive. Random PKs won't be able to steal the loot because there isn't a tick to attack, and the Omega eggs in the inventory turns to coins. Return to loot the GP. These guys don't know egg spawns in the Lumbridge farm. No, they're talking about Omega eggs, not chicken eggs. These are eggs given in 12.5 mil per death. That's a lot of work. Let's be honest. That's like, I don't know if they're I mean, judging by this, they're not getting to Queen then going and doing it. But I would just get a whole team to Queen, and then. But they did say there's only 3 people doing it, right? So maybe it's not that possible. But just get the whole team to Queen, and then start the animation stalling, the interface stalling. Such a complicated procedure that sounds like satire, even if it isn't. But you see, the thing is, that's 350 mil per inventory? That'll take you an hour. It'll take with a good BA team, you can get it done in like half an hour. 3 people for a 5-man team has to be bots. Yeah, it would be bots doing it then for sure. Just get the bots to Queen, then go do it. What's up, George? How you doing? Honestly, I legit could not be bothered to do this for the most. It's a lot of effort. But again, these are people that do this, have been doing this for years. These are people that would do this non-stop. These are people that probably do this for a living as well. So, I mean, you could do this. I reckon they could. You could do this like once an hour. You're making bank. Have to have a go at interface walking, see how long it takes to walk somewhere. I don't know how to do it. I don't really want to know how to do it either, because I'm a very what's the word? Once I know how to do it, I'll probably just do it for the meme, and then I'll start doing it within legal reasons, of course. But then I'll just start interface walking everywhere, and it's just a bad habit I don't want to get into. I'm very impressionable.
That was decently well known in the community. Combine it with 2 or 3 other bugs, and smuggling an Omega egg out might have been possible. I have a more detailed description of how this bug was probably carried out, but this video is not about how the bug actually happened. I'm just trying to make sense of the evidence I've collected to prove that something did happen with the Omega egg. The bottom line though is that the information I have is absolutely imperfect. Based on the stuff I told you, I definitely think a major bug abuse occurred that generated trillions of GP, but obviously I could be totally wrong, and I'd love to hear what you guys think in the comments. Also, leave in the comments if you actually saw any of this going on. Barbarian Assault bots, accounts with the BA icon under them out of Barbarian Assault, or anything else you think is related to this. I do see some logical problems with the story I've told. If this was going on for 11 months, why didn't we hear about more Barbarian Assault bots? Why is it the healer that was outside of Barbarian Assault when the collector would have been the one with the Omega eggs? I hope I'm wrong about all of this, and that even if there wasn't...
The reason we didn't hear about it is because if Jagex starts talking about... if Jagex mentions it at all that's doing is promoting the services. It's promoting the botting. It's promoting the gold. Hey, if people are on the fence about rural trading, and then this trillion GP bug came through, and now all of a sudden, gold is not 86 cents to the mil anymore, it's 50 cents. If you're on the fence, not anymore, you're swinging for that 50 cents per mil. That's the fucking jackpot. You've waited the perfect amount of time. So they promote this sort of stuff, then people start going, oh yeah, interesting, I'm gonna look into it. And then you start, then more people get invested in it and more people want to know about it. So me showing you this video is just part of the problem, but it's also interesting and fun, and I don't really care, it's not my game. But that'd be why Jagex wouldn't mention it. I wouldn't mention it. It's bad for the name, it's bad for the brand, it's bad for the game. And keeping it quiet, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I don't think the general public has any right to know about this. And I'm convinced that that's possible. I've seen some things happen. Yeah, I'm convinced that pretty much what Sir Pugger has put out for us, it's more than likely has happened. I'm convinced for sure. If players would just stop buying gold, none of this shit would be a problem. Well, people are always going to buy gold. It's in every game. It's human nature to get an advantage over anyone else, isn't it? So you're always going to have cheaters. You're always going to have gold buyers and sellers. So what happened? You're going to have to wait for the upload on YouTube to find out, because I ain't watching it again.
an Omega Egg smuggle, the bug abuser was overstating how much GP he made. But if he wasn't, and the evidence says there were probably at least 5 different bot farms smuggling inventories of 350 million GP worth of Omega Eggs at a time, let's say even just once per hour, we're talking about 1.5 billion GP made per hour by bots that ran for 10 months straight. So even just running the bots 3 hours a day would result in over 1 trillion GP being made from them.
3 hours a day.
If you like the video, make sure to like the video. And if you like more than one of my videos, subscribe. You can always just unclick it.
I think, that's a good point. I think the guy that was giving him this information had no reason to lie. I don't know, like, why they would lie about it happening, the amount of bot farms, the amount of money they were making. It wouldn't make sense to over-exaggerate it unless you were trying to flex, but why would you be flexing to someone who... then again, people flex for having an Inferno cape, don't they? So I guess they do. Because I was going to say, why would you flex to someone who isn't going to be thinking about you after the conversation's over? But then I've been to the Grand Exchange. People AFK with T-Bows for a reason. So I don't know. I believe it. I reckon it happened. It's nuts. Here's a link to the video. It's from Sir Pugger. Make sure you guys go and subscribe to him if you haven't. If you like his videos, and give him a like, because that's a good video. He always does a good job. Breaking down. Someone said earlier he's like the CoffeeZilla of osrs. I agree. He's very good at it. A lot of bot busting, a lot of bug abuse investigations. Very good content. Very, very good RuneScape creator. He's a champion. And in that time, we've only got 60 kills left. This is the easiest room in the raid. It's quite simple. You got a big boy. Look at him. God damn. Fuck me. Look at that boy. It's huge. You got a big boy.